Hello, it's Christian from Berlin, and with today's video I'm gonna start a 2 weeks period of only for beginners videos. Isn't that fantastic? 3 times a week just for beginners, maybe with a little something I did in the summer, but 3 videos a week are for you. Before we get started, imagine a stage, musicians, a band. Singer, bass player, drummer, piano player of course. Somebody is going to the stage from the audience and is taking $10 and throws it on the stage. Like, who gets it? Who gets it? Okay, I tell you. The bass player is too slow, as usual. For the singer, it's just far too little. And the drummer doesn't even get that he just missed the B part. The piano player gets it. You chose the right instrument. Congratulations. Enjoy my video. So what I'm going to show you is this little thing. Okay, so let's get started. And let's start with the left hand. This is a nice pattern to go crazy in improvisation on the right hand, because this you have in a while, and then this is much easier than a complicated boogie accompaniment. So this would be then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's not too bad, is it? And of course later on this goes also to, in the last bit it goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, let's first start with this one. So you might just practice this and come back in a couple of minutes or the next day, or if you like, because practice you do alone, but there's not much to practice. But now we add the right hand. And this, of course, is the first difficulty for you. 1 and 2. So this is just from C to E, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And very much slower. 1, so this you take to the right, you take the octave. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So this is your first anchor. The F comes together with the E flat, with the 7 of F. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Again, from F. Are you ready? 1 and 2. So they're coming together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And so these are of course then eighths. The other ones are fourths. So we play it again slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Practice that a couple of minutes, how much you need. And then to make it a little bit more sound more interesting, we add one note now. This one, the A. So that would be then, if you're okay with the other bits, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So it's the same, just with this little 8th note before the E flat. Sorry, A, from A. Yeah? The major 6 indicates that you can most likely play the major blues scale in this bit, if you would like to improvise. So any blues where you have the major, where you see the major 6 from C, you can be pretty sure the major blues scale is fitting, because the major 6 is not in the minor blues scale. Let's repeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and repeat with me. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's good to know that reliably the left hand is always playing octaves. This exercise will also strengthen your confidence in how much actually an octave is. You know, some tend to play this or this. Once they go to the right hand, many miss the octave in the left hand. That is because they haven't played enough octaves in their lives. And so if you play octaves here, and octaves are really important in left hand, so especially if you have to jump, maybe you have to safely find the octave in many pieces. And or like here, you have octaves are everywhere. So this is also good to learn octaves. Now we're going to the lovely ending, which is, okay, play with me. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Just interrupting right here, because if you can play this and you're here, if you practice it enough, practicing gives you a bit of relaxation to look what is immediately ahead. And here, immediately ahead, is both hands have to let go and jump back to C. So for beginners, these jumps can be a real hassle. So if you practice this enough, already here, I want your eyes and your mind be on the C's. Train that. Yeah? It's very important to look ahead. That's why we practice, so that you can actually look ahead. Okay, so I play this 4 times to get faster to where we want to go. Now, sorry. Again. Let's do the last bit with this one here again. Because as I have told you, you probably like to play the thing that you can already play over and over again until you come to the bits which you have to learn still. And I always recommend to practice the difficult bits separately. And so we are just practicing this one. Again. I know very well that I changed it a little bit. Actually, I wanted it like this. Okay? Let's do it again. The last bit. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You see, it's becoming pretty tight here if we, you know, but it's just tight. It's not overlapping. You just have to take a finger away in time. The last bit, again, play with me. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And now, why not play this all along? Have you practiced the second bit separately? Then it goes on all together, still slow, because now we have to fit two parts together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and watch out! 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, this is going to be our definite version. My recommendation for remembering stuff, you might have often heard that in my videos, is to learn certain chunks that are easy to remember. For example, because we are visual people, man or mankind, how do you say? Well, all of us, mankind, we are mostly visual people. Or to quote Picasso, he said, men, including women, are eye people. So we can visually remember things easier than, for example, just by abstract counting or something. You know, you could turn this into an equation of like 5, 6, 1, 3. 5, 6, 1, 3 is the 6, 1, 2, minus 3. So showing it in a digital fashion, you know, like just with numbers, 6, 2, 3, minus 3. Remember that and compare to. Now open your eyes and see. This is our chunk that we have to deal with. Like, so you can remember the optics because we have keys and we have a structure, and that simplifies things. So we don't have to remember, or at least it supports our memory of what to play. So here I would recommend to think in two chunks. This is the first one. So you just remember octave and then this bloody A, okay? So you have to just remember somehow this visually and then go to, remember it's something here. These notes. So we have these and these. So, you see? And they are all the time just this, except the last one. Okay? So you can remember always this, except last time plus this. In this way you get a better mental grip on what you're learning. You can have other helps to remember. For example, if you think, you can say slope from E flat. These are really important little things to sort of visualize or to make it clear to your brain. So slope from E, or just remember this as a little valley, or as a, or just remember this structure. That is also possible, just the visuals of this. So we have these, and fourth time this plus this one. Okay? If you have digested this bit, we see what else can we do. Next one. Not bad. We start to play a little bluesy by introducing the slide. So, for those who haven't played the slide, you have to figure out how to gently swipe here without playing or something else. It's got to be soft and smooth here, gliding from here. If necessary, put some butter here or margarine that is not so expensive. No, I'm kidding, don't do that. That's not good for the piano. It might run down here. So, okay, so. Is there something you want to say? I say it for you. It's exactly the same rhythm. Da da, ba da 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 da. And also here, it is much easier to recall that as a kind of chanting. Da da, ba da 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 da. As I often say, if you were sitting in a football stadium and people would shout this, you would have this immediately, without counting, without metronome, without teacher. Just 1,000 people say, Liverpool, or something. You don't imagine how many unmusical people learn this in a second. Or or in a minute, okay? And so I would also suggest this shortcut is to inertialize, to learn this, the structure of this, and then you've got it. You don't have to count, at least not so much, you know? Da da, ba da 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 da. Do it with me, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Da da, ba da 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 da. And it's also important that some instant of your body, all the metronome is signaling the fourth. Because if you don't do this when you're alone, you might slip off the syncopations. I know that students do it a lot. That's let's say an advantage of me as a teacher, because I actually taught for a long time here so I know where students go wrong. And this is one of them. So it could be either your head doing fourth motions or your feet, but feet can cheat too. So you can actually put a metronome, or even better, your voice. Like da da. Oh no, we had a slide, right? Da da. Ba 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 da. And now let's look at the notes. One, and it's the same as before. You don't even have to relearn the counting. Like da 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 da. And so this is called a drone lick. Drone lick because something is droning. That's it. Is on the top, droning all the time while it plays with each note together, except the last one. So let's do it together. 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and here is another very important advice for you beginners. Beginners very often do the mistake of underestimating the importance of the finger ring, the finger setting. And I just implore you to believe me, the finger setting is so important because your finger have to learn their root. It's just like you have to find your way through a labyrinth, and you have to learn it. And no, it's not a good example. I don't have a good example right now, but the fingers, if they always take the same root, after a while they remember. So if you play like 3-5, 3-5, 2-5, and then the A. And if you take alternatively all the time, let's say, the fourth finger here, and then the third, if you just change one thing, the finger is confused. The finger asks the brain, well, one time you're doing this, one time you're doing this. What time is it? What finger is it now? The finger asks the brain. And the brain says, well, sometimes this, sometimes that. Find your way. It's just not fair. The poor fingers want to know, they want to be your friend, and you have to allow them. So they, so if you used one finger setting, always use the same. And for example, if you're working with scores, like for example my score, there's no finger setting. Finger setting, especially with the seniors, sometimes they cannot play the classical finger setting I would recommend. And so I let them I see what they can do, and I take that into regard. And then I just say, okay, is that how you feel comfortable with it? Then the first thing you do is write it down and always take it from now on. It saves you it's immeasurable what it saves you. It's really, really a serious advice from a lot of experience. If the body learns it, then you're much faster in playing this by heart. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and here you just have to remember. Do you remember this? Did you realize what it is? Did you see the structure you've already learned here? And now we're just adding the G. It's another good chunk to remember or yes, it's the slope plus the drone master on top. Here, the drone that is always playing. Otherwise, it's the same. Another thing, another memory saved. Just is the same. The brain knows it because you play it here. It doesn't matter if it's an octave up, plus this one. And it's now so you just have to remember this one. And of course, a new finger setting. So now we try it with both hands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and do you know what I would say now? Think for a moment. What would be my next sentence? Right. Watch out for, look ahead what is now in the next thingy starting with here. So learn this until you can actually look ahead. Now you're starting already. At this moment, your mind must be on this one, because this is one, and this one. Yeah? So your attention spreads over a bigger area. And this is a difficulty for you beginners, because you think, oh, this and that. So this difficult bit at the end of a line, you have to practice especially to get the jump right. And it's actually called in Germany line jump. The line jump is something you have to master with everything, because your eye, if you have on a sheet, your eye goes from here to here. And this is stress. And this is stress. And it's only not stress if you learn this bit so much by heart that you actually are relaxed enough to look ahead and already aim at the next line. Let's do this now. Together. 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Looking and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Looking and 2 and 3 and 4. Here's our old friend from I think it's the fourth time every time. Yeah? And now, even wider jump. Look at this. But it's just G. It's still a task for beginners to find the G so far apart. Okay? So, but I made a mistake with the fourth line. Let's see, just the fourth line here. Okay, and slow motion. The special bit with this one here, okay? 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 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 3. For those beginners for whom this jump is too far for now, there is no problem either taking this hand and just play this one, or even both hands playing this G. Yeah, this is not essential. Yes, it sounds a bit nicer because the range is wider, we have a bass and we have more treble, but some might feel too tortured at this moment finding this. never finding this and just not getting this, you can try. And if this is driving you too crazy, you simplify a little bit where it doesn't steal too much from the sound. Okay? Let's try this one. A little bit tempo up. You practice that separately. And if you did, now we speed up a little bit. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3, 4. I hope you liked my video and that you learned something. And now you can subscribe. Just press this subscribe button or click on another of my videos on this side. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.